Regardless of whether it's a space adventure, a dystopian vision of the future, or the good old post-apocalypse, science fiction movies have become scarce, and exciting projects are often limited to streaming or made into series. However, there are still some movies that make it to the big screen. In this video, you can learn what you can look forward to in the coming months in terms of science fiction. Enjoy! 6 years have already passed since the last film in the Alien series, Alien Covenant. So, it's about time for a reboot of the iconic monster from outer space, especially considering the success of its counterpart, the Predator, in the Disney Plus film Prey last year. However, we still have to remain patient for a bit. The new film, with the working title Alien Romulus, is not due to be released until the second half of next year. The film will tell a separate story that is entirely unrelated to the previous entries in the Alien saga. This means that there will be no direct ties to the events in Prometheus, Covenant, or the original Alien films. The creators of the film emphasize that they chose this approach to make it easier for newcomers to the Alien universe, in addition to loyal fans. The plot of Alien Romulus will focus on a group of young people who come into contact with the dreaded facehuggers on a secluded outpost. These creatures lay their eggs in human hosts to give birth to the dangerous xenomorphs. However, it remains unclear whether the story takes place solely on the planet or whether it explores other locations as well. Likewise, the question of possible sequels or a TV series in the Alien universe remains open. It is known that Noah Hawley, the producer of Fargo, is working on an Alien series. Whether it will tie into this story, however, has not yet been revealed. Alien Romulus will hit theaters on August 16, 2024, and is of course an absolute must-see for all sci-fi fans. Gareth Edwards, the director of Godzilla and Rogue One, introduces us to the creator this time. In a dystopian future marked by a devastating nuclear strike on Los Angeles a decade ago, a fierce conflict unfolds between mankind and AI robots that were once created to protect the human race. The scars of war are still fresh for Joshua, a former Special Forces agent who is still mourning the loss of his beloved wife, but suddenly, he is called on a dangerous mission. He is tasked with tracking down and eliminating the mysterious creator, the obscure architect of advanced artificial intelligence. The fearsome weapon made by this creator could forever determine the struggle for supremacy between the opposing factions. But in the middle of the AI's territory, Joshua encounters Alfie instead. The question arises, can it really be that this AI child holds the fate of the entire human species in its hands? Or is there a possibility that it could rise up against its own creator? The creator will be out in theaters on September 29th, and the trailers so far are already treating us to a true spectacle. In 2015, the post-apocalyptic action film Mad Max Fury Road took over the movie scene and left a lasting impression on fans and critics. This was not only appreciated at the box office. In 2016, the movie won a total of 6 Academy Awards. Next year, the time will finally come for the prequel, Mad Max Furiosa, to hit theaters. At the beginning of the story, Furiosa still lives in the green place of many mothers. But she won't stay there for long. As she states at the end of the last film, she was gone for 7,000 days. This corresponds approximately to the mentioned 20 years difference to Fury Road. Furiosa is kidnapped from her home and falls into the hands of a biker gang led by the warlord Dementus. Since the movie is supposed to cover a longer period of time, we will probably see some of her time in this harsh environment and how these challenges change her as a person. In their raids, Dementus and his group eventually encounter Immortan Joe and the Citadel. A war between the two parties ensues. In the midst of this battle for supremacy, Furiosa must overcome many trials to find her way home, according to the official plot. Of course, those familiar with the previous movie know that she will ultimately stay in the Citadel. The question remains, however, whether she will join Immortan Joe of her own free will, or whether he will keep her as some kind of war trophy. The movie has its premiere on May 24, 2024, which is already an absolute must-see for us. The blockbuster sequel Dune 2 was recently postponed to spring 2024. Of course, that's no reason to look forward to the science fiction epic any less. After Part 1, the initial situation is clear. Darkness has come to the broken House Atreides. Baron Harkonnen now holds the reins of power once again on the relentless planet of Arrakis, backed by the Emperor's favor. Paul and his mother Jessica are the sole survivors of House Atreides. They owe their survival to their daring escape attempt into the merciless desert. There, they have joined the native Fremen, whose lives are defined by the heat, the sand, and giant sandworms, creatures that make the extraction of the precious spice substance a dangerous challenge. So, Paul hides out in the middle of the desert, supported by the Fremen, Stilgar, and Chani. In hiding, he forms a desperate resistance against the oppressors, but at the same time, he can no longer flee from his destiny as a Muad'Dib, a role attributed to him in his visions. These visions point to an imminent holy war that threatens to take over the entire universe on his behalf. Epic battles and revenge against the Harkonnen seem unavoidable. The new release date is March 15th, 2024. It's been 8 years since the final movie about the Hunger Games and Katniss Everdeen, The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2, hit theaters. Those who feared that this would be the end of the stories from Panem have reason to rejoice. A fifth installment of the series will hit theaters in November. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, is a prequel that is likewise based on a book. In the film, The Hunger Games will be the focus once again, of course. 63 years before Katniss Everdeen, Panem is still shaken by the Civil War, which occurred 10 years ago. For 16-year-old Lucy Gray, as tribute of District 12, it's a matter of bare survival. But her love affair with her mentor, Coriolanus Snow, seems to give her the one or other advantage during the competition. Snow, on the other hand, has his own ambitions. He is working to restore his family honor after it fell out of favor during the uprisings. As a mentor during the Hunger Games, he soon discovers his talents, which will later help him become president. We're also looking forward to the story of Casca Highbottom, the involuntary inventor of the Hunger Games. The first trailer already whetted the appetite for more, and may have already convinced die-hard fans to go to the movies again. The film can be seen from November 17th, 2023. When it comes to action and science fiction, there's no getting around one particular franchise, Transformers. After there have already been several approaches at making movies, the creators of Optimus, Bumblebee, and the like are trying something new with Transformers 1. This time, the action is supposed to take place mainly on Cybertron, and before the big civil war between Autobots and Decepticons. The animated film will focus on Optimus and Megatron at a young age, who were not foes at the time, but brothers in arms and friends. Their friendship and relationship with each other, and how it paved the way to the Great Civil War, is sure to be an exciting cinematic experience for all fans. Due to the fact that the movie is set on their home planet, spectacular footage is bound to happen. The premiere is set for September 13th, 2024. Okay, the following title is not the most pure science fiction movie, but hey, aliens, space stations, cool technology, the new MCU movie, The Marvels, is certainly worth checking out, and that's what it's all about. Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, has successfully reclaimed her identity from the tyrannical Kree and taken revenge on the Supreme Intelligence. But this heroic act has unexpected consequences. She now bears the burden of responsibility for an unstable universe. Fate leads Carol to a mysterious wormhole that is a link to a Kree revolutionary. Here, something incredible happens. Her powers suddenly merge with those of Kamala Khan, aka Ms. Marvel, as well as Carol's niece, Monica Rambeau, aka Saber. Every time one of the three uses her powers, they switch places with another. Together, they must form an unbeatable team and learn to work hand in hand. Working as the Marvels is the only way they can master the challenges of the universe and save it from impending doom. The film can be seen starting November 10th, 2023. Those were some of the science fiction movies we are most excited about. Which one are you looking forward to the most? And do you know a sci-fi classic that urgently needs a sequel or a remake? Let us know in the comments. And if there are enough likes from you, we'll be happy to make a second video. After all, there can never be enough talk about science fiction.